YouTube fans, here again, and as I'm in the shop today, I think I might talk one about my next favourite Wood That Hour films, that being Brian Furler. I say it again, Brian Furler. Now for anyone that says Wood That Hour just plays the same roles, he's not a good actor, here's the chance to prove people wrong. Yes, it's an action film, but it's a damn good performance by Wood That Hour. Because Wood That Hour doesn't play, well, he does play a hero, but he doesn't play a bad guy. He plays a hero, but a different type of hero. He plays a blind man. And how he does this is brilliant. The movements, the way he uses to angle the sword, he was trained to use like a ninja sword, and he pretends to be blind at the same time. He does this. I mean, I'm doing a shit job, but the way Wood That Hour pulled it off, pretending to be blind, is brilliant. It's just brilliant. Now, it starts off at first, but it's based on Vietnam. You've seen a lot of films that are based on Vietnam, the war. And he's with his mate, and they're fighting the Vietnamese, and by accident, an explosion goes off in his face, what causes him to go blind. It doesn't burn him, but the light of it causes him to use his eyesight. Worst disability ever. Long road, the funny thing is, you get Vietnamese people, like a village, what find him. And I love the scene because they're teaching him how to angle himself, how to look after himself, how to know when you're going to eat dodgy food, and basically how to look after yourself and how to get out of dangerous situations and how to use a ninja sword. And there's bits of me what wonders whether this film was inspired by a Japanese film called A Juicy. If you've never seen A Juicy, it was a Chinese film, they made a series of them. And Bruce Lee, believe it or not, imitated Juicy once in a photo. As well as a lot of Chinese warriors. Bruce Lee actually imitated Juicy. He was a well-known Chinese warrior at that time, who pretended to be blind and was slicing and dicing with his ninja sword. And I always wonder whether Brian Furley was inspired by that. Because like I say, they're teaching him how to angle himself. You get the idea, it's a lot of years later now, he's a little bit older, with no eyesight, that being our mate, Wood That Hour. The mate who was there, it turns out he's owing money to these loan sharks, and one of the main villains, you may remember if you've ever seen the film Brian Furler, is the same villain that played in Last Boy Scout. So it's that profession to see him play a villain in this. So he's owing these loan sharks money, and he's not paying up. They're getting pissed off, and they want him to do other stuff for them. There's a bit where they're hanging the poor guy onto his high building. Oh, I'm doing the money, I'm doing the money. We've got other ideas. So basically, they're using him basically to make jugs, to plus jugs, and so on. So there's a funny bit in it, how could I forget it? He goes to a taffy, you always get some dickheads. These dickheads are there, they're tossing trouble. He asks for this thing, don't want it too spicy, but it does, because he's blind, and these lads think it's fun to put spice on his food and drown his food with spice. But that's what he knew they was going to do. Wood That Hour knew that's what they were going to do anyway. So he's going to go, but that's what he wanted. And then he just batters them all because don't forget he's been trained to do martial arts and he's trained how to angle himself being blind. Because the Vietnamese people found him, these villages, and they trained him how to do that and how to look after himself. So I kind of like that little touch. He batters them all and you've got the idea, blind Furler and not fist of Furler. And so he goes to visit the wife of the guy who they basically with the loan sharks. Sadly to say though, she gets shot by the scumbags because they want to kidnap the kid. But our mate manages to get the kid and get out. He's got a little lad. I like this little lad actually. Have you ever seen this kid before? Think of the movie Warlock. The movie was called Warlock. He was in that, to see where the Warlock was pushing him on the swing. And you hear about the little lad getting killed. I'm going to say it's professionally done, you don't see it. And the little lad says, I don't go to church. But it's the same little actor that plays the lad in this. So I like this little lad. As I say, he never did a lot after this. And it's the same because he didn't come across being spoiled. Wasn't too right. He wasn't your typical spoiled brat little child actor like you see in most films. Or like Tipping Toadie and all them. So it's kind of the same. I never really seen him a lot after this. Because I like him in this. At first, the little lad's starting to wind him up, trying to piss him off. There's a bit where he's just him a stone. And he thinks he's going to break his teeth, and Wood That Hour's been through it like that. And he spits it out and hits the little lad on the forehead, which is what you wouldn't get away with nowadays in films. But there's like a bonding between him and the lad, which I like that little touch to the film. I like it. And there's a bit in it which makes me have a tear in my eye because the little bit where the blind man, that being Wood That Hour, says that he, because of what's happened to him, he can never cry. If everything upsets him, he loses a loved one, he can't cry. He hasn't got them emotions anymore for water to come out of his eyes. It's sort of a sad story. And again, he tells the story of how he became blind and how he saved his dad and so on. So the lone sarts want the lad because basically it's a way of owning money. Take the lad, the father will do more work for them because basically instead of them paying him money, they can get him basically to do slave work. And you do meet one woman on the way who helps them out. And if you've seen this woman before, think of 2 films Abby Food, Cut and Run, and she was also in Prince of Darkness, damn good horror film if you've never seen it. And if you remember a lot of furniture coming, the door that says, "Way to go, Santi, way to go." That's the same actress. Very pretty, nice to look at, nice eyes, and she helps them on the way. There's a bit where the diner con Woodard Hour and he's tied up for these 2 dickheads. I've gone dickheads. Woodard Hour gets out, he's a badass, and he batters them. There's a lot of good action in it. The only issue is, I'd wish it'd be a little bit like Soul Done Assassin. Remember Soul Done Assassin and the assassin films, you know, where you got arms and legs getting cut off and blood squirting out everywhere. I know it's not that type of movie, and I don't want it to be all the fucking fire and bloodthirsty because it takes away the art of it. But I just felt something a little bit of that, you know, a bit like Kill Bill or the Soul Done Assassin films, the heads getting cut in half. I know, I'm sounding a bit messed up here, but if it had that in it, it would have had a bit more of an impact, is what I'm getting at. There's a good bit in it where the bad guy's chasing Woodard Hour, he's in these buses, and Woodard Hour slices him, and you think, why is he not dead? Because his dad had a special metal suit on, what protected him. But I just like the idea he could imitate blind, and the way he could act blind, Woodard Hour, doing the fight scenes, using the sword, doing martial arts. It's good, it's damn good acting. Again, Woodard Hour shows he can pull roles off like this. It's like I said, he could be a date bad guy, or he could be a date good guy. And in this, I think he plays both a damn good guy and a guy who is blind. And it makes you feel sorry for him. So there's a bit at the end, he's going after the lone sarts, he goes to save the day, and he saves the dad. Done a good bit of juice bit in it, he slices his ninja, you see him get cut in half, but you only see it far away where he's falling out the window. I love the bit with the disco lights and he's got his another ninja down to fight Woodard Hour. I love to see where the film says, get me Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's dead. Get me his brother. So I sort of like that little touch to it. I thought that was quite funny. I love the bit with the lift. They say, shit, fuck, shit, fuck. I always like that little line in it. So there's some funny bits in it. It does have a bit of humour. It's arts on its sleeve. And it's like I say, Woodard Hour saves the day, but he's got to leave. He's got to leave now. And he tells the lad he's got to leave. The lad says, no, don't wait to leave. Don't wait to leave. Because they had a bonding. But he drives off anyway. And there's a bit in it where the lad's crying. But, you know, eventually he'll come to terms. He'll move on. It's sad, but, you know, that's life. But Woodard Hour was in the bus, and this bit has just a tear coming out of my eyes. Remember the bit where he said he has no emotions and he couldn't cry? At the end, Woodard Hour actually cries. You see water coming from his eye, from his cheek, where he cries. That's a sad scene. But then he walks off. You got the same music, and now it opens. Not gonna do the rest. And it ends, and I just love the film, Blind Furrer. I love it. It's a damn good film. If you can ever find it on DVD, please let me know. It's a hard one to find. But I remember finding it on a certain network, and it's a good one. Blind Furrer, damn good performance again by my mate, Woodard Hour. So he can also play a good guy, as well as an evil guy, like in the Itzer. But in this, I think he plays a good performance as being a blind man and a hero. That being Blind Furrer in 1989. It's a good one. Until then, I'll see you later.